The Red Cloth Doll. A team of paranormal investigators received two unusual dolls from different families. Both owners believe the dolls were connected to strange and unsettling events happening inside their homes. The first family said the doll seemed tied to a series of mysterious knocking sounds. The noise would start in one room and then move to another, almost like it was following the doll wherever it went. They also noticed lights flickering whenever someone picked it up. On several occasions, the doll was discovered in places where no one remembered putting it. The second doll came wrapped in a red cloth and carried an even stranger story. Its previous owner claimed that late at night she would hear faint whispering sounds in the house. She also described sudden cold spots forming right around the shelf where the doll was placed. And things became even more unsettling when her child refused to sleep in that room, insisting that the doll had blinked. Rather than destroying the dolls, the investigators decided to study them carefully. They placed both dolls on a table in a controlled environment and started a spirit box session. One by one, they asked questions, waiting quietly to see if anything would respond. And then, something happened.
Back up the red. Look. Look. No! Bring that camera over here!
Oh god, he moved!
Still moving. Did you catch it moving?
I think I did, I don't know, I tried to run.
Again. Look! You see it move? I caught it moving.
If you watch closely, the doll wrapped in the red cloth appears to move its head slightly to the side. It's a small motion, but for many viewers, that tiny shift was enough to raise serious questions. Some paranormal researchers believe that objects surrounded by intense fear, belief, and attention can turn into what they call trigger objects. These items may attract or focus paranormal activity, bequenos of the emotional energy people attach to them. The red cloth itself also caught people's attention. In some folklore traditions, red fabric is believed to either attract spiritual energy or trap it, depending on how it's used. So if the doll really did move on its own, it raises an unsettling possibility. Maybe the previous owners weren't imagining things after all. And if something truly is attached to that doll, moving it to a new location might not stop the activity. It may have simply given whatever is there a new audience. Look, did you see that? It moved. I caught it moving. The closet that watches. A woman says she hasn't had a full night of sleep in weeks. Not because she wants to stay up, but because almost every night something inside her house gives her a reason to stay awake. She explains that it started quietly. The kind of small, strange disturbances people usually try to brush off or explain away. One night, she suddenly woke up to the sound of small objects sliding across the floor. At first, she thought maybe she had imagined it. But just moments later, she says she heard a soft voice from somewhere in the room, gently calling her name. At that point, there still wasn't enough proof to understand what was really happening. Naturally, people started offering their own explanations. Some thought it could be an intruder hiding somewhere in the house. Others believed it might be something far more unsettling. In many paranormal stories, whatever is there doesn't show itself right away. Instead, it starts small, strange noises, whispers, things that make you question what you heard. And according to her, the next video only made things worse.
But yeah, it was super. Yeah, I'll see if you can come over in a bit. You should bring your dog. Um, Your dog's really, really big and cute. Nope. Mom? Mom?
This time, it wasn't a voice. If you look closely at the footage, something strange appears inside the wardrobe. For a brief moment, what looks like a face slowly emerges from the darkness, almost like something peeking out. Then just as quickly, it pulls back again. She says that after this happened, she started looking for ways to protect herself. She tried several small steps she found online, cleansing the room, keeping the closet tightly shut every night, and doing whatever she could to stop the activity. But nothing seems to have completely worked. What makes the situation even more unsettling is the place where it keeps appearing. Closets and wardrobes are often described as spaces where something could easily stay hidden, watching without being seen. For a few days, the activity stopped. She thought maybe whatever it was had finally gone away. But then it came back. After sending the footage to a paranormal investigator, she says she was given one clear piece of advice: do not open the wardrobe again until a proper investigation can be done. For now, she has decided to leave the house and is staying with a friend until someone can look into it. So what do you think is really going on here? Is it truly some kind of paranormal presence? Or could there be something else hiding inside that closet? Let me know what you think about this one. The figure beyond the fence. This Ring camera footage seemed to confirm what an entire neighborhood had quietly feared for months. Long before this moment was captured, almost every house on that street had reported something strange. Some families said they would hear slow, deliberate footsteps outside their windows late at night. Others claimed their motion sensors kept turning on, and even when no one was there. A few residents also mentioned that their security cameras would sometimes glitch or suddenly shut off at the exact same hours, almost like something didn't want to be recorded. At first, most people tried to dismiss it. Some blamed paranoia, while others assumed it was just technical issues with the cameras. But when multiple families began sharing nearly identical experiences, the fear slowly started spreading through the neighborhood. Eventually, things became unsettling enough that the residents decided to do something together. They brought in religious leaders to bless and cleanse the entire street. Prayers were said, and crosses were placed along fences and entrances, forming what many believed would act as a barrier of protection. For a short time, everything seemed quiet again. But only a few days later, one family's Ring camera captured this. On the far side of a fence, a dark figure can be seen slowly moving through the night. Once the footage started circulating among neighbors, people quickly began forming their own theories. Some believed the cleansing didn't push something away. Instead, it might have invited something protective. According to that theory, the prayers and crosses could have opened the way for what they described as a guardian presence. Something now watching over the street, making sure nothing else could enter. But not everyone agreed with that idea. Others believed the figure was something that had already been there long before the blessing ever happened. Something that was never forced out, never removed, only made more cautious, more careful, almost as if it had simply learned how to move without being noticed. And until more footage or evidence appears, this strange encounter remains completely unexplained. The eyes at the door. Late one night, while a man and his young son were fast asleep, Their home security camera quietly recorded something deeply unsettling inside the house.
Siapa? Oh, perempuan begini-begini. Mani-mani di sini, mani-mani di sini. Untuk apa kamu? Kamu sudah meninggal di sini. Udah dikubur. Kamu kan bukan orang. Udah, pindah di sini. Ini kan tempatnya gubuk satu. Kalau nggak keluar, ayo. Ada orang perempuan itu. Kamu kan orang lain. Bagaimana sih? Ada orang.
Orang mana, Pak?
Orang perempuan. Nggak ganggu saya, bagaimana sih? Kamu kalau nggak keluar, mau berani dengan saya mau berani dengan dia. Soalnya begini, mau apa, saya silakan. Ini kan orang susah, gubuk sahur. Umat begini, malam-malam begini, orang perempuan. Saya kan orang duda, tapi kan nggak gini dia, orang perempuan begitu. Bagaimana? Keluar. Sana.
Apa itu nggak ada apa-apa, Pak? Saya nggak lihat, Pak.
Orang sini tuh perempuan itu.
At first, nothing seems unusual. The bedroom is dark and still. Then slowly, almost carefully, the bedroom door begins to open on its own. Just a small gap at first. In that narrow opening, two faint glowing eyes appear. They don't move. They don't blink. They simply remain there for a few moments, staring silently into the room where the man and his son are sleeping. Then, without any warning, the door slowly opens wider. The camera never clearly captures a full figure. However, the man's father, who was also in the house that night, later claimed he saw the shape of a woman standing there. According to him, it wasn't just a shadow. That statement alone makes the footage far more unsettling. In many cultures, older people are believed to be more spiritually sensitive. Some traditions say that as people age, they become more aware of things that exist beyond normal human perception. Others believe the elderly are somehow closer to the boundary between life and whatever may exist beyond it. And some simply think they notice the things the rest of us overlook. So, was it really the woman the father claimed to see? Was it something else entirely? Or had something been standing there, watching them, far longer than they ever realized? I'll leave that for you to decide. Yet the sound in the dark. This next clip was sent in by a man who lives deep in the Appalachian Mountains, a place famous for its vast wilderness and the many eerie legends that come with it. According to him, he and his family were sound asleep when their Ring security camera suddenly sent a motion alert just after 3 a.m. At first, the footage looks completely normal. The camera shows the quiet, fog-covered night outside his rural cabin. Nothing moves. Everything seems calm. But then the audio captures something chilling. A low, guttural growl echoes through the darkness. It doesn't sound like any normal animal, almost inhuman. Moments later, a second sound follows. This time, it's louder, more aggressive. A deep snarl that feels much closer to the camera. And yet, strangely, nothing ever appears on screen. The shadows aren't done yet. Subscribe, and you'll see what's next.